What screams poorly educated? Using buzzwords without knowing what they mean. Especially when you ask them to clarify what they are talking about, and they continue regurgitating the same buzzwords. You're a socialist, fascist, racist, Marxist, communist. Both sides? Don't gaslight me. This term should just be retired because 90% of the people that know it have no idea what it actually means. You gaslighting me, boy? Reading a headline and thinking you now know the whole story. So most Reddit users? No, we go to the comments hoping the bot pastes the content in a comment. Ignore it, then argue about what the headline says. I feel so seen. Especially when the article is paywalled, yes. Or if it's an AMP link. I'm looking at you, Walpo. If this post gets 200,000 shares, big corporation will donate a kidney to this brave little girl in desperate need. Actually commenting and sharing a FB post to win a custom RV because the last person they tried to give the prize to was underage, so couldn't accept. Or anything of that ilk. I remember like 15 years ago seeing a picture on Facebook of a little girl with all kinds of tubes coming out of her, and if this gets 10k shares the doctor will perform the life-saving surgery on her for free, and people sharing it left and right. As if the doctors were so horrible and heartless that they would only perform life-saving surgery if enough people shared her picture. Sorry little girl, you're gonna die 'cause not enough people care. Oh well. Having pride in not knowing something. That always shocks me, but it's pretty common. Some people make ignorance the core of their personality to the point that they're actually proud of all the things they don't know. These are the same people who brag about not having read a book since high school. Let's be honest, they didn't read books while in high school either. They didn't teach us anything in school. The rallying cry of every classmate you remember who just fucked around all day or skipped entirely. I got into an argument with an anti-vaxxer from high school. It ended when I said, "Steve, you used to cheat off me in biology class, maybe copy me on this too." Blocked, LOL. Lack of curiosity/unwillingness to learn. I have talked to neighbors and coworkers that I thought were backwards and unintelligent and been very surprised by their willingness to explain their position and listen to mine and reconsider and learn and maybe even research a little. Those folks are intelligent and growing and have just come to a different conclusion than me, and I can respect that even if I disagree. I have family members who are way more book educated than I am who have drank the Kool-Aid and believe what Facebook and certain news stations that are more like entertainment stations tell them in snippets. It's like their brains turn off about certain topics and they don't want to debate/understand, only parrot. I don't judge on grammar or appearance because I don't know other people's backstory. But if you can't be open-minded, you are stagnant. Someone I went to school with was telling online how their child asked a very reasonable question about a zoo animal while they were at the zoo and they laughed him off because it was about a bodily function and kids will be kids. I looked it up on my phone and had the answer posted in 2 minutes. They were all, "Yeah, figures you do that, you were always the smart one," and I said, "No, I have a phone and I used it." The kid was curious. I too was curious. He's not going to know unless you tell him, too young for his own phone at the time. Teach him how to find out and he will never be ignorant. The worst part is that the same parent was homeschooling at the time. Poor kid. Edit, thanks for the award, kind anonymous stranger. Whoa. That's bad, and kids going to grow up scared to ask questions if that's anything to go by. Bragging about not reading. Definitely hated reading after being forced to read books like The Scarlet Letter or The Bell Jar in high school. Not enjoyable books for a 16-year-old. Picked up a book during COVID that I enjoyed and found out reading is sick. It's like TV in your brain. 10 out of 10 recommend it. The Bell Jar has probably been my favorite novel since I was 14. Same. May I ask, did you also have very strict parents, or feel stifled by them? No, I had extremely adoring parents who indulged my love of reading by giving me 50-odd books per year from the age of 3 and then died before I turned 15. Very Sylvia Plath, except that I'm a brown man, so I don't think she would have liked me very much. I will never understand flat earthers. You can literally see the curvature of Earth depending on where you are. Don't try to reason someone out of an idea they didn't reason themselves into. In the documentary I watched on Netflix, there was a scientist giving a talk to other scientists, and he said the best thing we can do for people that don't accept the scientific model is to keep trying. Something along the lines of being responsible for people not knowing. I liked this thought process. We shouldn't look at ignorant people as them versus us. They're human too. But of course it's fucking frustrating. Haha. The same documentary where they proved themselves the Earth is not flat, and instead of going yes, we were wrong, they went this experiment is flawed, lol. The same documentary where a guy became a flat earther while trying to disprove the Earth isn't flat and had a friendship with a woman who didn't believe 9/11 or the Boston Marathon bombing happened because she wasn't personally there to witness the events. Thinking that getting a pay raise means you'll make less money because you are in a higher tax bracket. Hell, my intelligent, successful brother didn't know how marginal tax brackets worked until he was 40. I had this conversation with my co-workers the other day, and every single one of them was. Even my boss didn't know. I don't like to criticize people for lack of education because not everyone is afforded the same opportunities, but I am astonished at the amount of people who have gone to school and everything in it seems to have rolled off of them like water off a raincoat. There's grown-ass adults who have no grasp of really basic concepts taught in middle or primary school or who can barely read or write in their native language despite having graduated high school. I had a student social worker one summer. She couldn't spell or print, let alone decide if her name should be spelled with a Y, I or E. It was Ashley. This is a person who will decide whether to take children away from parents one day. I was in a social work grad program with some people who I wouldn't trust to tie their own shoes. They were not by any means the majority, but I was struck by how possible it is for incredibly incompetent people to get advanced degrees simply by staying in school a long time. These were people aspiring to be in, or who were already in, fields where they would have immense power over the trajectory of vulnerable people's lives. Same. And they'll graduate because it's not profitable to fail them. And people are advocating to get rid of the licensing exam. I know there's concerns about bias and stuff, but there has to be something or the license is worthless. Not wanting your kids to do better than you. That's not being poorly educated. That's being narcissistic. Absolutely. I know plenty of smart, highly educated people who are complete narcissistic assholes. Pretty much all the replies in this thread are something that makes someone stupid, not uneducated. TBF, it can be both. I call it willfully ignorant in such cases. Lack of critical thinking and dismissal of science and the scientific method. Edit, I find the Facepalm Award hilarious. When objectivity and rationality are viewed as dangerous and threatening. People often confuse the idea of subjectivity and scientific questioning to mean there are no true facts in this world and everything has an argument. Well, gravity is just a theory. You know what is also a theory? A point-blank gunshot will kill you. Let's test it. Accidental philosophical skepticism. Can something be philosophical if you reason through your opinions first? Confusing someone's level of formal education and their intelligence. The dumbest person I work with has a master's degree. Educated beyond their intelligence. OMG, I was watching some documentary on King/Prince Charles, and they used this exact phrase to describe him. We all busted out laughing BC, it was a very posh commentator. I got it from the documentary Wild Wild Country on Netflix. Alpha male. I did a tour with wolves a few months ago, where we got up close to them and could hang out with them. One of the handlers told us that the term alpha male referred to the male who took care of the whole pack. We are talking everyone from babies to sick ones to grannies. His line that I'll never forget was, "So next time someone refers to themselves as an alpha male, make sure they understand that the alpha male is the guy pushing the stroller with a fanny pack full of band-aids, lollipops, and medicine." TIL, I'm an alpha male. Jigga Chad music starts getting louder and louder. Please like and subscribe for more daily content.